Well, in some small way, we can take pride in that performance. Of the first 30 minutes, actually played really, really well. It could have been a lot more, but alas, Wednesday are relegated, and we've got Jez, Tom, and Louis here fresh back from Bramall Lane to give their view on what transpired yesterday afternoon, and what now, of course, for the future. Do we set ourselves a target of getting out of negative points, or does it really not matter one jot anymore? Great to have your company back with us. 20 minutes of Wednesday chat on what's going to be quite hopefully an upbeat as far as we can, not solemn episode. Jez, how are you? You were there?
Yeah.
Overarching feelings?
The inevitable, another defeat, a relegation. Just kind of pleased that it wasn't the mauling that they wanted to give us and what have you. I think we got away with it in a few ways, but yeah, expected what we got, and it's just confirmed the relegation, really.
Yeah, not the way we wanted it to go at all. Let's have a look at some takes. Jimmy says, a great effort today, lads, and avoid a cricket score. There's only one man to blame for this. Heads up, finish the season, and then we can rebuild. Tom, did you, compared to the other performances you've seen Wednesday put in, was that actually marginally or increasingly better than what you've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think the first half was shocking. It could have been 3 or 4, so we were lucky in that sense. But I think once they got the red, 11 bad players versus 10 pretty decent players kind of levels it up. So then we had a chance. But yeah, they had their big day out, and obviously they were hoping it would be 5 or 6 and they could have their own massacre. But yeah, to walk away with a 2-1, I think before the game we all thought it was going to be a cricket score. But yeah, I actually think that you'd maybe have taken that before the game, which sounds ridiculous just because of how bad we've been. But I thought once it went 2-1, we could have actually gone for it a bit more. I think Henrik didn't make any subs until like the 80th minute or something. And I know we've got injuries and players are tired, but I think if we'd lost 3-1, 4-1, we're kind of expecting it anyway. Like, you never know, we could have got something. But yeah, I think before the game, I definitely would have taken a 2-1 compared to what happened.
Yeah, there are some Blades fans I've read, Tom, that saw that red card as an orange card. There's just no way that was a shocker, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're kind of saying it's a follow through and he doesn't mean it, but I think Calvin Phillips knows what he's doing. He's leaving one on him. I do think a bit of the game's gone a little bit like back in the day. That wouldn't be a red, but if you saw Hamers earlier where he kicked out, he got away with one a little bit. That one you could maybe say it's an orange, but in this day and age, they're always going to give it. Calvin Phillips, I don't know what's happened to his career, how he's gone, that downhill recently.
Yeah, okay. Some of the positives, we'll try and keep it positive on here this week, shall we? Jonathan says, Louis, apart from the first 30 minutes, great effort, lads. We can hold our heads up. Yeah, you were there. Did you walk up holding your heads up after that?
I think what Tom says, it's just a good thing it weren't more. I think them 10 or so minutes after their red card, we showed a bit of fight. That's what we've been asking for all season. So it was good to see that for 10 minutes or so. But then after that, just capitulated again and back to what we've seen for the rest of the season. But I know Tom said it 30 seconds ago, but if we'd have made them subs and really gone for it and showed them what we can do a bit, then maybe we could have brought it back to 2-2 and then we've given them a game. But it is what it is, I suppose. We all expected it, and there it is.
Yeah. Couple more. This one here from Stephen says, well done, lads. You tried your best every week. Doomed from day one. Chance we can write an L. Now to enjoy the rest of the season. We'll be back after a gap year, hopefully. Jez, do you think it will just be a year?
No.
Out?
No. I think there's too much of a job to do. And not only is it building the first team squad back up, it's also the infrastructure, everything else. So it's the youth team, it's the academy, it's everything from top to bottom. So it might be 2 or 3 years. You never know. There could be this scenario that you hit the ground and you think, oh, we've got something, and you do it. But I can't see it.
The Cardiff model, Tom, this season, how much attention you paid to them down there, is to basically invest in youth players, get in some of the strongest youth players from the divisions below, take some from the Championship as well, and just make a really young youthful squad who are hungry and desperate to prove themselves. So they've got the youngest squad in the division. They've been flying through. Is that a model you think that the new ownership and hopefully a new management team could look at?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because we don't know if it will be Board, if it could be a Mike Ashley. We don't know until it's gone through yet. So you kind of don't know, what the manager's going to be, what the new owner's going to be. But it's something I think we'd all like to see because we've had, I don't know how many for the last 10 years. It's been kind of 3 agent, 35-year-olds to kind of get us over the line. But yeah, I'd like to see us do it. But there's also, I think we have a more chance. Depending on how it goes, like I don't think we're going to go up. I think we could maybe get the playoffs. Is that maybe you have to have a season of stability before you just put in all the young players because we're going to have to get 15 maybe next season. We're going to have to rebuild the whole squad. If we go fully youngsters, like you could go down. So I think we've got to know where we're at. We've got to rebuild the training ground, stadium, youth setup. So maybe after next season, if we kind of stabilise, then go for these young players and try push for promotion as well.
Yeah. It's a massive name, though, Lewis, isn't it? And for League One, the name of Sheffield Wednesday, the brand, the name, the history. You are going to be able to attract players just off that brand, aren't you? It's not like Barnsley, for example.
No, certainly not that bad. But we saw it when we were in League One last time. We kind of had the better pool of players and more pull to get Championship players down and things like that. But I think, like you were just saying before, with the youth players, we've never really had a youthful squad, as far as I'm concerned. We've always gone for the older players, the free players, things like that. So obviously it'd be nice to see loads of young players come through and prove what they can do. But that's if we can get it and what and who we can get, and you're never really sure who you can get at Wednesday.
Yeah. Can I talk about Liam Palmer a second, Jez, with you? His comments are suggested, whether we just maybe too early for this conversation, but his after match comments suggested that he was going to be there and he wanted to be part of the team that turned this around. It then led to some fans on social media saying, "Hold on a second, no." I just want to get your view on this one. Adam says he's been a great servant, but needs this season to be his last for us. He's been responsible for some unreal moments, but we need younger, hungrier players rather than older end pros coasting. Jacob was a little bit more forthright. He said he should have been moved on for years. Bloke's been rubbish for ages and made a living off us. He should be the first one out the door next season. Your thoughts, Jez?
Gotta go. Time's up. I think it's a case of if you're having a new broom, you've got to have a new broom. You've got to clean it out. In one of those comments there, there's a reason why he's got as many appearances as he's got, and I think he's been lucky to be that as well. Fair play, he's done his years, he's done all that, but it is time to just completely move on. Fresh ideas, fresh break. There's probably only 3 or 4 that you keep from the squad now next year, I think.
Who would they be?
Svente, Pace Charles if you can, Otterbayo, and I'm probably struggling then.
Okay.
But it's 3 or 4 if you're thinking about it. But I think it's time. Thank you a lot, but he's got to, we've got to move on.
Tom, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little harsh in the sense of I think his time is up. I don't think he's good enough. But in terms of next season, I think if we're going to have this youthful team, we're going to have to change 15 players. I don't mind him being as like a squad player just for experience, just to kind of be there. But I get what Jez is saying, but I think it's more just to get rid of 15 players, to not have any sort of experience who can just kind of come off the bench now and again. I think in another season I would get rid, but maybe next season I just give him a year as like a squad option just to kind of have some experience in there, especially if we get rid of Cooper and all the kind of experienced players we've got. Unless we're going to sign some for League One as well as bring through the youth, then I'm not sure what Lewis thinks, or if he
Lewis?
I've been in the Liam Palmer fan club for a while now. He's one of my favourite players, but it is sad to see him go after all the years he's put in. And I think honestly he could do a job in League One, as Tom says, a bit of a squad player, things like that. It would be sad to see him go. I don't think he has been the one on the brunt of all the hate and things this season and that, but I don't think he's been too bad. Obviously nobody's really been too good, but I don't think he's been awful, and he could do a job for us next season. I would be sad to see him.
Okay.
I'd like to see him here.
One of the things that Wednesday have been too much is being sentimental. We've always been the sentimental club that's always kept on what we're doing. At some point, we've got to change that. We've got to change what we are. We've got to change the animal we are. We've got to actually make a club that wants to progress. We cannot rely on people that like Liam Palmer. And I know he's a squad player, but we can bring in free transfers that are squad players that are more energetic, fresh ideas. We've got to be clean cut and move forward, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose.
Let us know your thoughts on this debate in the comments. We read all your comments every single week. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the Blades that bothered to comment, of course, last week as well. Your opinions are, well, they were looked at anyway. Tom, we've still got 13 games to go, though, before we can put this miserable season to bed, starting with Norwich midweek and Southampton, of course, on the weekend. What's the goal now? Should the players be told we are not finishing on negative points and make that the new target?
Yeah, I mean that's the only target we've got. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to maybe scrape a couple draws and lose the rest. I can see. It's hard to know because we did decently in the second half against United, although they had a red. Maybe that could galvanise them, but I think now the players are just going to kind of give up in my head. A lot of players on loan. I can't see us doing that well as the season's been gone. So maybe, I know Norwich aren't the best, but yeah, I can't see us really getting any points.
The importance of, we take the performance against Millwall, Lewis, and the performance in that second half. You are improving, aren't you? So, 7 points. You can get 7 points from 13, can't you?
You'd like to think so as a normal club, but it's never really been like that. But like you say, against Millwall, United, things like that, we've had pockets where we've looked decent and up for it, but I just can't see how. I don't think it'll change the fact that we're now down. I don't think it'll change how we play, and it'll just carry on how it has been for the rest of the season. Tom's just said I don't see where the point's going to come from. It's just how it's been.
Okay. Let's move on then to other topics. This week we've been talking about who we want to see from League One come up for the Championship. Let's change that question a little bit then. Anyone you're particularly looking forward to visit? Just for a good away day, have you many grounds you've not been to in that division that you're looking forward to?
A few.
It's a bit raw to ask maybe now, but...
Yeah, well, we've been to them recently, haven't we? So it's not been that long ago.
True, yeah. I know Barnsley fans are looking at... You see all the Barnsley fans creep over to...
It's a big away end. We can take them.
Yeah.
Huddersfield's a good trip if they don't go up. There's some good trips. There's some good locals, but quite a lot of them are in the south now. If you look at the league table,
yeah,
the teams
that's right.
are quite southern based.
Yeah. You ever been to Bromley before?
I have.
I was going to bring that one up.
Not for football to Bromley, yeah.
That is mad, isn't it? That we're seeing Sheffield Wednesday against Bromley as a fixture.
We played Forest Green last time. We got beat by them, so we might have had it at least.
Awful away though.
Okay. Any you two lads at the bottom there looking forward to visiting?
Maybe Bradford might be a bit interesting to go to, and then Bromley as well. Yeah, that'll be. That's written 1-0 Bromley already. No matter how good we are, that's just you know what's happening.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. This week we're also chatting across the network about whether we're falling out of love with football. Now I know it's a very difficult question to ask Wednesday fans, but take Wednesday out of the question for a second here. There's some good articles this week about just generally as a nation, are we falling out with football? As a fan base. Jez, do you have a view on this? You talk to people, you work with people. Do you think we're losing touch with the modern game, and why so?
Me personally, I watch less football now than I've watched previously, but that's because I don't particularly see the Premier League as that interesting. Really, I think it's as a whole, I'd rather watch some lower league football. So York City, for example, which, like I've mentioned before, front foot kind of robust football that makes I think it's a bit too predictable. Premier League. as a whole, I wouldn't have thought that the nation are falling out of football. I think it's just, I think you find that because there's so many avenues now, there's so many social media avenues to put your point across and put it, you spread off, you can't catch them all on. So maybe if they were reduced, you'd probably think, oh, we're all the same. Podcast, there's there's 10 a penny, of everything of football and what. So I don't think we are. I think it's just a bit more diluted because it's across the spectrum a bit more, I would have thought.
Yeah. Okay. Lewis, Tom, have you on it at all?
I think it's only felt like we've fallen out of love football because of the season that we've had at Wednesday. I think the fans going to the game and things have come lower and things like that. So I don't think Wednesday fans have fallen out of love football. I think there's just reasons that people aren't going anymore and things like that, especially this season. I think people still are in love with Wednesday, and as much as they were, I think there's just certain things that have happened that have led to people not wanting to go to the games or not feeling like they can go to the games and things like that.
All right.
Yeah, I also think with the Premier League, I mean, I think VAR's killed it a little bit when you're waiting on decisions for 5 minutes, and then also the prices of just going to the games is ridiculous. And then if you see the money that's splashed about in the Premier League, it's kind of, if you do go up, you kind of have like it's split into like the top 6, relegation, and then just the middle. So it's kind of maybe the team like a Newcastle or Villa spend a bit of money and get Europe, and then if not, you just kind of free up a kind of 1 or 2 at least to going down. So yeah, I mean, before I think there was less of a gap between the Championship and Premier League.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on all of that. We're going to keep going on here. We're going to keep it positive. We're going to keep player spotting, supporting the lads. I'm going to say that the support everywhere Wednesday's gone. Once again, we say is absolutely tremendous, as it will be in League One, up and down the country. You can be absolutely certain of that. We're up to Q though in our A to Z this week. I hope you've done your homework. Is there anybody at all? Jez?
Anybody good? Or just anybody?
Good. Yeah. Is anybody good?
Obviously, historically, you've got Albert Quixall, who was way before my time. But in my time, the Qs would be Alan Quinn and James Quinn. And that's it. And Alan Quinn, for me, just totally wipes it out because he went the other side. So he's gone out. So it must be James Quinn for me. Scored scored the goal away at Hull. And we won. That was a Tuesday or Wednesday night. But it's thin pickings.
Yeah, okay. Alan Quinn got in the Blades one when we spoke to him.
Of course he did, yeah. You'd have thought they would pick Wayne Quinn, to be fair. But
any others? No, any quarterfinals that stick in your memory or anything like that we can put in?
I only had a questionable decision one. I don't know if it's even questionable, but when we played Brighton and then Forestieri scored and it got ruled out, I think the whole ground went mental. And then I still don't know exactly if anyone's touched it or not, so it could be the right decision. But yeah, just long goal kick and he's through on goal and scores, and then the stadium erupted. But yeah, maybe that was the right decision, but you never know.
Okay. All right. It looks like James Quinn is getting in our A to Z there. Now the good news is we go into R and S and T next week. So a lot easier debates in the coming weeks. So join us for that. Also, we'll talk more about Norwich and, of course, the Southampton game this weekend as well. Try and enjoy it if we can. Let's get us some goals, and maybe let's just get this -7 off the board, shall we? Join us for that. Drop us a sub if you haven't done so already. Thanks for your company this week. Keep on smiling. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.